Alright, I'm going to try to do this one without stopping and having to have an outtake. So, my name is James. I am here to talk about what it took for me to complete my WGU degree. It's officially June 19th, 2019. 2 days ago on June 17th, I had my MBA confirmed. My capstone project was completed, and now I'm just waiting to basically fill up this spot in my office. Right there is my bachelor's degree from WGU, my associates from Vincennes University, and my Omega Brother certificate from Sigma Pi. So, in this video, I'm going to go back to October of this year and talk about enrollment in the first few months and what it took for me to get here. You know what? I'm actually not going to do that. I'm actually going to go back to 2016. Wait, 15. Got to log into my student portal to figure out when I started school there originally. This is my professionalism. Okay, so 2015. So here's a little bit of background. I originally went to Vincennes University in 2004. I went there for 5 years. I acquired my associate's degree in applied science and law enforcement. And I had spent an additional 3 years there to finish up a bachelor's degree. And my last semester, my dad got sick with cancer and ended up dying. And in that process, I ended up going home. I spent the month of my semester at home, and I just never was able to recover from that. By the time that summer rolled around, I thought I was going to stay around for one more semester to finish up my degree, and I just couldn't stay there anymore. I hated being away from my family, and I packed up literally in the middle of the night and came home. And for 6 years, I worked odd jobs, did this, that, and the other. I did a lot of bartending and serving and all of that. And I then ended up getting a job that would pay tuition reimbursement. And I had a supervisor that, believe it or not, we're fairly close now. He and I talk sporadically, but he told me, you'll really have a chance when you get a degree. When I already had a degree. And it was that fire to piss me off enough to do something about it. So in November of 2014, I looked to go back to school. I was looking for an online option, and I looked into like the University of Phoenix and other online universities, and I looked at WGU. WGU seemed to be a different option. I frankly am a person who, as far back as I can remember, I get bored very easily. I get sidetracked very easily when it comes to the things that are in front of me. And if I know something and I can take it into a test, I'm fine. But otherwise, if I'm stuck watching somebody do something over and over and over, I just get bored with it, and then I don't absorb the material. The thing that was interesting to me about WGU was the pass-fail system and the competency units, and I also was kind of interested to see how much of my curriculum would transfer. Surprisingly enough, quite a bit of my curriculum transferred. And when I went to WGU, I went with, how many transfer credits did I have? I can't pull it anymore unless... This is what sucks after you graduate. You can't pull any of your information anymore. Yeah, I can't pull the info. But I ended up having about the first year or so taken off of my plan. But that's beside the point. So I went ahead and jumped into the program in January of 2015. At that point in time, I thought, okay, I got this. I'm gonna breeze through this in a year. It won't be an issue. All of that. Well, from January 1st of 2015 to June 30th of 2015, I'm sorry, I completed orientation. I did not complete another class. The main reason for that was my inner doubt. It had been so long since I had been in school. I had complete fear of taking courses or anything like that. And I frankly did not sit down and take the time to actually study and do the stuff that I needed to. And I honestly don't know what my problem was, because I should have focused. So the next semester, the next term, not semester, and the great thing about WGU is you have 6-month rolling terms. I jumped into that. I passed 3 of my courses. Actually, it's funny, the first one, so I did 2 6 competency units courses and then a 3 competency unit course to get them out of the way. The first one I've completed in September because I still was in kind of that mood of I'm going to just take my time and do this how I want to, and it didn't work. Then the next term in January, I completed 1 course, didn't complete 3 again. And this is when my mentor kind of said, okay, get your butt in gear and start getting it done. The 3 courses that I didn't pass, I actually didn't pass until my last term at WGU, and that was Information Systems Management, Macro, and Global Business. And this was also a time when I just had a fear of everything. When it came to my student, or with my education and everything, I just was terrified. From July to December of 2016, I got to go into marketing, which was my major, marketing management, then ethical situations in business, and then quantitative analysis for business. I did complete these 3 courses, but the deal was the quantitative analysis for business. I remember this course specifically because ethical situations in business, I started the week of Christmas, and I did the same thing for quantitative analysis. I turned everything in at 11:50 on the 31st of January, or on the 31st of December, and I had to do some extra coursework in between. It actually went on to my next term. And I also took a term break here for the first time, and only time I was at WGU. At that point in time, I was just burnt out. The same thing with marketing applications. I was just really tired. Where I was working at, I was working 7 days a week, 8-hour days, not like, 7 days a week, on Saturdays and Sundays I was working 4 hours a day. No, it was 8-hour days at least. And then after that, in February to July, I did 2 more courses, didn't get micro and macro out of the way, and then this is when things got serious. So from August to January, I did 3 courses, micro, macro, and project management. The completion of those 3 courses, the project management one especially, project management was the only course that I had to do an outside certification. So I had to go to my local Ivy Tech branch and take the test there because it was an actual certification test. And I did those 3 courses. I finished micro in December, finished macro in early January, and I finished project management in late January. This right here was the catalyst for me to do the next term the way that I did. There were 2 important factors to this. In this term, from February to July of 2018, I had to actually pay some of this out of pocket when it came to student loan costs because I had been there for so long. And when I did this, this is going to sound crazy, but I completed 38 competency units in a course of 6 months. So the way I had set this up was exactly how I wanted it to be. I did a course every 2 weeks, and I had it planned out that I was going to be done in like June. So I completed Global Business, Principles of Accounting, Managerial Accounting, and Information Systems Management. Now, if you didn't realize those 2 from earlier, Global Business I was terrified of. Accounting and Principles of Accounting and Managerial Accounting, both I was terrified of. I've always been scared of math. I work with a lot of engineers. I'm not an engineer. But I completed both of those courses within a month. Then I went to Information Systems Management and completed that one, which that one wasn't bad. It was just that I was misinformed, or I wasn't misinformed. I just didn't put the effort in the first time. Then came the straw that delayed the camel's back, Principles of Finance. From March 28th until July 8th, I was stuck in that class, and I hated that class. That test was a pain. I could not pass it. And after I finished that class, this is where this gets fun. For the next course, Marketing Management Concepts, this was an objective-based course, so it was a test-based course. I studied the material for this course for pretty much 3 months straight. I went into this pre-assessment, and I passed with a 100% on the pre-assessment, to which the professor for the course flat out asked me, "How did you do this?" She was concerned that I had cheated. I said, no, I had time to study the material. I used outside materials. I used Course Hero. I used all of these outside materials, and I was able to pass the course. And that course was a 12 competency unit course. I went from passing Principles of Finance on the 8th of July to passing Marketing Management Concepts on the 11th of July. The next course after that was Marketing Management Tasks, which took me 6 days to complete. And then finally I had my capstone project, which I did get an extension on, and it was completed on August. It was passed on August 6th. I started it on the 17th of July, so did that in about 3 weeks. And that's how I finished my bachelor's degree. I'm not going to go into great detail on my bachelor's program. I think this is about as farly detailed as I'm going to get in. But from July until October, I said, okay, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to enjoy the rest of summer and then start my program in October. And looking back on it, I should have waited, actually. Worst thing about being a homeowner in Indiana and being a motorcycle rider and doing all the stuff that I do, and hunt, October and November are very busy months. You're getting your house ready for winter. You're taking air conditioners out. You're putting up heating items and this, that, and the other. You're doing all kinds of stuff in your off season or in those months. And I really should have waited probably until like November, probably December would have been a better term. Or better time to start my term, but I didn't. And I started in October, and I actually didn't complete my first course until December. And when I completed my first course in December, I worked my butt off to get it done, and in my next video, I will talk about what I did for the other two courses in that term. I'm going to go into great detail on that one course, because I need to talk about some other stuff that happened while I was in the program in my own personal life, and that I'm actually going to wait. That'll be like video 5. I'm gonna preempt that, and then I'll talk about the course itself, or the stuff itself, in the meantime. So, but yeah, this is my first video of the series, and this is probably going to be I'm going to say like a 6-video series to talk about the MBA program at WGU, and actually just the programs at WGU. So I'll do the typical like and subscribe, put comments down below. Please be nice about them. We don't need to fight about education. If anything, we need to agree with one another. And we'll go ahead. And yeah, that's it. This is James Learns, and I'm signing off.